People sometimes ask me, how, Andrew, did you turn around a $300 million business so quickly? And then usually they follow that up with, and is there something we should learn from that? Is there something we can apply? Well, the good news, I guess, is I only did one thing, and absolutely you should learn from it. If you run a business, every business should do this. In our case, it turned around a $300 million business just by changing the one thing. I'm Andrew Laurie from BGB, and I kind of want to tell a little bit of my story. And the first meaningful success I had in business was that. I had been asked by my employer to take over a new company they'd bought, a travel bag. And this is in the UK, in Britain. It turned over about the British pound equivalent of 300 million Aussie dollars. And it was declining about 60% year over year. I think it was about 25 years old at the time. It had been done well, obviously, reasonably well known, but had been neglected. The owners we'd brought it from had stripped out management, hadn't had much focus. It was just, it had just been allowed to wilt. And it was now declining, literally, compared with last year, by 60%. And I was put in, it was my first big management assignment. See what you can do, Andrew, try and turn it around. And on the one hand, I was young, I was fairly inexperienced and didn't know what to do. So first thing I did, I called Cole. I called the first and perhaps still favourite of all my mentors, Cole Williamson, who I called him up and said, Cole, what do you do? And as Cole would normally do, he said, oh, look, Roo, as he called me, look, Roo, usually it's all about the people. And so that's where I came at it from in the beginning. And I looked at it, and the one thing I did, I decided, righto, let's work out, if I look at it, we had about 150 staff, by the way. 150 staff, let's get their input into what we're all about, who we are. What should our culture be? Who should we be? So this is what I did. I came up with a one-page document. It had about 50 words on it. 50 words that could be the sorts of things that would represent who we might be, what we might view as important. I sent it out to every staff member we had about 10 locations around the country, and asked them to all just circle the 5 that they thought, that resonated most with them, that they thought best represented what Travel Bag, what we as a team should be all about. They all sent it back in. I pulled it all together, and I just looked at what are the most common, what got the most votes, and came up with half a dozen. I didn't come up with them. There were half a dozen that were the most voted for. I looked at them and thought, yeah, okay, that sounds good. That stands to reason. I then went around the country. I travelled to every site, sat down in groups, sometimes one-on-one, spoke to every staff member, spent time. It took me a couple of months. Spent time talking to everybody about what they'd fed back. This is what you're saying. This is what I'm hearing. This is what I think, therefore, we should be. This is what we're going to focus on. And by the way, this is what our culture is going to be, based on these words that have been recognised. They gave me further feedback in that process, and out of that we came up with, on the one hand, this is what our culture is going to be. These are our values. Excellent, fantastic. We put those everywhere. We talked to people about it, we lived by it. What was interesting to me is that then drove almost everything else we did. Because out of those words, out of what the staff were saying to me, it also told me, actually, this is where our marketing focus should be. Because this is the type of business we are. This is what we're good at. This actually told me, this is our distinction. This is how we stand out. This is how we can win. It told us what sort of product lines we should be going for. It really guided us. It was a travel agency business. We sold holidays. And it made it very clear that we were very good and we felt passionate about long haul, sophisticated travel, complex itineraries all over the world to distant shores, so to speak. And that's where we would be able to win. We could stand out. We had skills. We had a love for it, a passion for it. We're good at it. So therefore, that's where our product should focus. That's where our training should focus. That's where our marketing should focus. This is who we are as a business. And it gave us that. And what I was starting to realize is we'd done this one exercise and it was guiding us in lots of ways. In the end, though, I think it did 2 things that were among the most valuable. And I don't know that I've ever seen a business that fails if they do these 2 things really, really well. It really engaged the team. The team got into it. Everyone got a say. Even though we're 150 people over 10 locations all over the country, everyone got a say. Now, the first part was easy. They just had to circle the words on a piece of paper. And back then, you emailed it in. I think we probably even had fax machines still. But the principle is the same. And then I would go and talk to them. That took a little bit more effort. Nonetheless, well worth it. So it got the staff members highly engaged. And then it got the entire team and our strategy and our marketing and our training. It got everyone aligned. We got really clear on this is who we are. This is what differentiates us. This is how we're going to win. And everything got in line with that. Every business should do it. Now, that's going back. This is back in the early zeros. This is in about 2004, 2005. And I've subsequently done it whilst leading a couple of businesses, and then I've done it with I've coached a lot of businesses now over the last 13 years, and I've seen it time and again. I've read quite a few business books. There are a lot of books on how to build great businesses. I haven't come across one yet that doesn't at least say, focus hard, do well on building the right culture. And I subscribe to it. If you get a team of people who are highly engaged, you're really clear on what you're all about, and you're all aligned with it, you're going to succeed most of the time. Most businesses who can do that. So we did one thing when I took over that business. I didn't make changes in the business. We didn't have budget to make changes. What I did, we kept the same sites, we kept the same shops, same business, same brand. What we did, we sent a piece of paper around and got every staff member to participate in defining who are we, what are we all about. Then I spent a couple of months traveling around to the sites and talking to them, talking to the staff. And the staff got on board and we got really clear. This is what we're all about. This is our culture. This is what, and everything got in line. Now we went within the first 12 months from being 60% decline year over year to then growing and profitable within 12 months. It was a great turnaround. Subsequently, the owners sold the business, which was good for them. I wasn't one of the owners, I might add. But it gave me a great lesson, one which I've employed with so many clients and any business I've been in. If you get everyone clear on what we're all about, the whole team clear, and participating in it, engage with it, your chance of success is at least 90%. It works time and again. Get in there, do it, enjoy it. All the best then.